Sometimes it's hard to get out of there.
I know. Lots of different buttons to push.
Congratulations on a great show, folks. Can I ask for a show of hands for everyone who's had at least one COVID shot so far?
Yeah, I can't get it.
I'm 71 and I had my first one 5 weeks ago. I had a flu vax last week and I'm due for the second COVID shot in July. I was just intrigued to ask how many of you guys had them, and you're too young.
I'm not eligible.
You're not eligible at all.
No,
No, not until like you get called up.
38 years old.
I thought essential services like the media were included.
I sit in a radio studio. I don't know about essential.
Okay.
Good to see you. I've got to rush.
Okay. Look,
See you, Gareth. See you.
What are you going to do with the footage?
I do a thing called Outside Insiders. I've been doing it for 7 years, and a lot of people talk to me, and some people say, no, I don't want to talk to you.
Fair enough.
But I do hope that CO2 emissions for people who fly in from Canberra and Brisbane and Perth don't count towards global warming, and I'm sure they don't. But I did read where China is emitting more CO2 than the rest of the developed world put together.
Right.
Do you think not enough is said about the fact that China is going to continue their CO2 emissions to increase them until 2030, and yet people are going insane about what goes on in Australia?
Yeah. Well, I've heard other people make that point that you've just made.
Have you made it on air by any chance?
Not today.
Okay.
Not this morning.
Does the name Brittany Watson ring a bell for you at all?
No.
She was an 18-year-old Aboriginal mother who was murdered in a township and her body put in a wheelie bin and dumped outside.
Mate, where's the best place to get a taxi, you reckon? Do you live in Melbourne?
I do.
Where's the best place to get
This intersection is probably okay if you want to ring them.
Right. Is there a rank around anywhere?
The rank is over
Over near Crown?
over near the Eureka Tower, which is...
yeah, that one.
Well, look, I can walk you in that direction
No,
if you want to go.
I might let you go.
Okay.
It's nice to meet you. What's your name, sorry?
Bill Thompson.
Bill, nice to meet you.
Brittany,
Gareth Parker.
look up Brittany Watson.
Okay, I'll look
You won't find her name on the ABC.
Righto.
She was an 18-year-old Aboriginal mother who was murdered, and a young boy has been convicted of a murder and jailed for 8 years in Western Australia. But her name won't appear anywhere because of cultural considerations.
Okay.
And what concerns me is that George Floyd's name is a worldwide issue, but Brittany Watson, no, you can't talk about an Australian woman who gets murdered in Australia.
I'll look it up.
Good on you,
Nice
mate.
to meet you, too. Take care.
Okay, bye. I'm grateful to Gareth for taking the time to chat with me. Just by the way, I'm not going to pick this up, but one of the absolute most common forms of litter around Melbourne in a long time are discarded or dropped face masks. So in an effort to reduce the impact of COVID on the health of Victorians, and well and good, there's been a significant increase in the level of littering on the streets of Melbourne. To get back to CO2 emissions, I do make it a point to try and catch up to Labor Party and Greens politicians who appear on Insiders or other ABC shows at the South Bank ABC studios to see how they get to and from the studio. And I was not surprised this morning to see that Claire O'Neill was driving away from the studio in a Volkswagen SUV. These people bang on incessantly about the need for people to reduce their CO2 emissions. there is a bloody tram stop at the front entrance of their ABC studios at Southbank, but lots of these characters choose to drive their SUVs themselves, which is not too bad, or arrive in chauffeur-driven limos, whilst lecturing other Australians on reducing our emissions. Bill Thompson for Outside Insiders.